Hey, welcome to your walkthrough for RI 8.1. So just so you are aware, with this lesson, number one, it's going to be a longer lesson, but we have a lot of things we're going to do, a lot of practice, some review, some previewing. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff in this lesson. You will also have 2 tests within this lesson, simply because we are going to review and test on a standard that we've already learned, but we kind of just missed our opportunity. So I want to see how you guys do on that. So if you look, we're going to look at text evidence and inferencing. So this should look familiar because this is a lot like RL 8.1. So it's the exact same thing as literature, except our focus is going to be informational, which just means our thought process might change a little bit because we're working with the actual factual, is what you'll hear me say a lot. So our essential question is, how does the reader use evidence from a text to make logical inferences? So again, you're going to be using evidence from the text, and we're going to be using inferences. So if you remember, inferences are a conclusion that you come to based on information that the text gives you, aka your evidence. So it's a conclusion that you come to, as in you take what you see and what you know, and you put them together, and you make a judgment. So you, at the end of all of this, so you can see what you're going to learn, what you'll be able to do at the end of all this is obviously recall what's directly stated in the text. We're going to be practicing a lot of right there questions is what I call them. We're going to use explicitly stated, so direct quotes, to make inferences. We're also going to use evidence to explain our inferences. So sometimes we come to a conclusion and we're not sure why. So we're going to learn to backtrack and go back and find, well, where did I come to that conclusion? What little pieces of evidence, what clues led me to that? And then we're going to evaluate our support. So we're going to look at our clues and we're going to figure out whether or not we used sound support. We're going to figure out whether or not we're using support that is strong. So when you're building a house, like the 3 little pigs, one little pig built his house out of hay. Hay doesn't work. It's weak, right? You want to make sure that your evidence is firm, like a brick. Distinguish between the least and most effective piece of evidence and support your reasoning. So again, we're going to evaluate our support, and then we're going to figure out, okay, which one's the best, which one's the worst, and then figure out why. So how are you going to accomplish all this? There's going to be instructional videos like this one embedded. There will be Zoom class to see examples and practice as a class. I really recommend that you come to Zoom. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff that'll be extremely helpful. Reading and annotating a variety of text using graphic organizers. And then, of course, we're going to do some EOG style practice because that is honestly the best way to get us prepared to do well based on what the state expects us to do. So academic vocabulary to know. So here are your words that you might want to just pay attention to. There's only 1 slide, so it's not a lot. We have analysis, explicit, inference, textual evidence, cites, and support. And I went ahead and embedded this here for you so that you have access to it throughout the lesson. So if you forget what something means or you're having a hard time understanding what I'm saying to you, you have a reference point to come back to. Like I said, come to Zoom class. It's going to be the most helpful thing for you to be able to accomplish all of these learning targets and be successful. All right, have fun.